Hey, it's Deanna from Memories by Deanna. Today I'm going to be showing you how to edit with Sherrie Burton's picture. And it is a raw image, so I'm going to go ahead and open it using Camera Raw. And my basic settings, I usually I'm just going to tweak it to what I usually do. I actually usually do this in Lightroom first. I haven't done this in Photoshop in a while. Okay. Okay, and then I also have to find it. It's been a while since I do the chromatic and profile corrections. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open that. We're doing this in Photoshop because I need to layer and mask. So you can see I'm going to make this a little bigger. You can see here, this area right here. We want to get rid of the darker spot. And the way that I would do that is I would create a layer and then use masking. So right now we have one layer. The way that you get a second is by pressing Control and the J button on your, or you could right click and duplicate layer. Press OK. So now we have two layers. So what I'm going to do is make this layer 50%. Okay, and then I'm going to use this tool here, which is the move tool, and I'm going to move this layer down, and since it's at 50%, we should be able to see through. So I might actually have to do this 2 times because the area above his head is not quite big enough to cover the whole black area, darker area. So I'm going to just click another button so that it'll set that, and then I'm going to zoom in by pressing Control, the plus sign. And I'm going to make sure that my lines match up. So these lines here, these lines here. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is change that back to 100%. I'm going to add a mask, which is this button right here, add layer mask, and then I'm going to invert this mask so that it's black. So you do that by pressing Control I when you're on that actual inversion mask layer. So now you can see the picture looks like it did originally. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to take my brush and change the color to white. If it's not on white and black, then you could press this little button right here to make it white and black if you have other foreground and background colors. And then I'm on the brush. I want to make sure when I drop down here, the hardness should be 0, and make sure your caps lock is not on, or else it won't show you how big your brush is. So that should work. That size is good for me. So I'm going to zoom in again by doing the control plus sign. And what I'm going to do is I want to make sure this is not, opacity is not 100%. I'll probably do about 65 sounds good to me. And I'm going to paint with the white color. And all you do is kind of paint over that. The layer beneath has because we've already moved it. So we're just trying to get rid of that really dark color. So I'm gonna take my time here. Okay, so there's some detail work, so I'm gonna make the brush smaller. Sometimes it gets stuck, and if it's stuck, you just click another option over on the left side and then click back to brush, and it'll let you make it bigger or smaller with the bracket buttons. So for that detail work, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer because I want to make sure his hair, I don't get his hair. And then you just kind of get in there and follow the line of his hair. And we'll get over here as well. Okay, so I'm going to get here by his ear. So I use this because when cloning, it's just a lot harder to control. I am going to clone this part so now you could see here's the after, there's the before. Another thing you could do is if you click on this layer, the mask layer, and press the backslash on your keyboard, it'll show you the mask, so you could see, kind of zoom in really close. Sometimes if you zoom in too close, it makes these boxes, so. Okay, so you could see my mask there. I'm going to press the / again to get it back to normal. So I'm going to take a snapshot of this. So now you could see this was the original. This is where I'm at right now. I'm going to merge down this layer, flatten the image, and then I'm going to use the cloning tool right here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just going to make another layer. If you click on this background layer and press Ctrl J, it'll make another layer. I just want to make sure that I have, in case I make any mistakes, I have the original underneath. That's a good tip to follow. So I'm copying from down here. I'm going to line up the black area here, and then I'm just going to copy it down here. So I'm at a very low opacity. I want to turn it up a little bit. I don't like to use 100% because it blends better if it's at a lower percent. I just want to get rid of that line. Alright. So I'm also going to kind of get rid of this swirl right here because that's a duplicate from up there. And this doesn't really bother me, but if it did, I could also kind of blend that a little bit, just a little bit, so that it's not like clone marks where it looks like it's copied. Okay, so I'm going to merge. So again, I have two copies here, so if I had messed up, I could always mask this layer and then bring back what was underneath. But since I am good with that, I'm going to flatten. I'm going to take another snapshot till it's back all the way out. Okay, so here's the before, and then here's the final. So I hope that helps you. I use this method all the time. I think it's a lot better than just cloning. It's just better lines. It looks more natural. So I hope that helps. Enjoy. Thanks.